she's so fine. Hell of a hell of a blows my mind. Hell of a lights my...
What's good, guys? This story is coming out of Duluth, Minnesota. It came out on the 18th and was updated yesterday, the 19th. Video shows Duluth officer shooting man through door. Two video clips filed in state district court show the moment a Duluth police officer fired through the closed door of a downtown apartment unit, injuring an unarmed man inside. The body camera clips were filed by St. Louis County Attorney Mark Rubin in response to a defense request to dismiss 2 felony firearms charges against Tyler Liebfried. The video, as previously described in court documents, show Liebfried and fellow officer Corey Lindstrom walking up to a third-floor unit at the Kingsley Heights Apartments on the night of September the 12th, 2020, after they received a report of a possible domestic disturbance. They determined there was no cause for arrest, but were planning to speak with the occupant, Jared File. Liebfried, trailed by Lindstrom, was approaching the door when 2 loud banging noises could be heard, something both officers later said they believed to be gunshots. The videos show Liebfried ducking into a small alcove, with Lindstrom seeking cover down the hallway and around a corner. Liebfried quickly calls out, quote, "shots fired," end quote, over the radio and retrieves his duty pistol as Lindstrom is heard yelling his name from down the hall. The video shows Liebfried pointing his gun at the door, which has no signs of damage, for several seconds before firing an initial volley of 4 shots, some 10 seconds after the initial banging noises were heard. File, who remains inside the apartment, can be heard screaming, quote, "stop," end quote, at least 9 times, followed by an expression of "ow," end quote. Liebfried, after waiting 6 seconds, then fires an additional 2 rounds into the door as further screams are heard from File and others in the building. Quote, "please stop," end quote, File is heard shouting, quote, "can I open the door? Stop. Ow, I got shot. Open the door, please stop," end quote. Liebfried is heard summoning medical attention for the victim as Lindstrom continues to call out his name. After several seconds, the officer is seen running down the hallway to his partner. Liebfried and Lindstrom had not yet announced their presence when the incident started. An investigation suggested the initial gunshot-like sounds were probably from File forcibly closing the apartment door, unaware the officers were about to arrive. File 23 still had a bullet lodged in his back as a result of the incident. He has retained an attorney who has not ruled out a lawsuit against the city. Defense attorney Paul Ng argued Liebfried's charges should be dismissed because he was justified in firing the moment he heard apparent shots under the, quote, "reasonable officer," end quote, standard established by the U.S. Supreme Court. But Rubin cited Liebfried's initial delay in firing, along with his decision to fire 2 additional rounds after File could be heard screaming in pain. The prosecutor wrote that he used, quote, "poor judgment fueled by fear," end quote. That's a picture of Tyler Liebfried. Liebfried, an Army Reserves veteran, told Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension investigators that the hallway was a, quote, "fatal funnel," end quote, a narrow passage that left little room for him and his partner to safely maneuver. But Rubin said he had enough time to see that no shots had passed through the door, and cited the statement of Lindstrom, who's told investigators that he, quote, "wasn't going to start putting rounds into this apartment just on a guess," end quote. 6th Judicial District Judge Sally Tarnowski on Monday, March the 15th, upheld charges of intentional and reckless discharge of a firearm, ruling there was sufficient evidence for the case to proceed to a jury trial. Quote, "the pause before the first volley of 4 shots, the pause before the second volley of 2 shots, combined with the closed door and the victim's later pleas for help, raised the question of whether or not defendant's actions were objectively reasonable," end quote, Tarnowski wrote in an 11-page decision. Quote, "the court recognized the myriad dangers inherent to a job of a police officer," she added. "The court respects the immense difficulties raised by split-second decisions in circumstances where the lives of citizens and the lives of officers are in danger. However, based upon the complaint and the record before it, The court concludes that defendant's motion to dismiss must be denied, end quote. Liebfried, a 5-year veteran, will remain, quote, off duty indefinitely, end quote, according to Duluth police. He is scheduled to be back in court on April the 15th. Let's watch this body cam footage.
I'm definitely not your girlfriend, Sean. Oh, that's shit. Okay. 26 shots fired.
Back your color, back your color. Shots fired.
Counter.
Hey.
Tyler. Tyler.
Stop! 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 Ow! Stop! Stop! Please! Stop! Get open the door! Stop! Oh! I got shot! Open the door! Open the door! Please! Stop!
Start medical.
Please!
Mill screaming is down.
Ow!
Tyler! I can't!
Stop!
Tyler, where are you at? Tyler, back here! Back, back. You good, bud? You good? Yeah.
Just my opinion, and everybody's got one. That was not justified to shoot through that door. That it was a very dangerous situation. They didn't know who was in that apartment. Anybody could have been killed or harmed or anything. That's crazy. That should have never happened. And not only that, but you also have other tenants in the building. That's a very scary situation that should have never happened. I'm going to end the video on that note, but I appreciate you guys for watching.